brutally honest. You've been grinding. You've been consistent. You've done everything they said would work. Early mornings, late nights, relentless focus. But nothing's happening. No breakthroughs, no applause, just silence. And it's starting to rot something inside you. Not your discipline, but your hope. Most people quit here, not because they're weak, not because they're lazy, but because they can't carry the weight of the silence anymore. The silence of doing the work while the world doesn't notice. But there's another path, darker, quieter, lonelier, and at the end of it, power. If you're ready to walk it, hit that like button and subscribe to Stoic and Stone, because we're about to descend into the kind of truth most people run from. The man who chose the shadows. Let's begin with the man who mastered silence, Miyamoto Musashi. Over 60 life or death duels, undefeated. And yet, he didn't belong to a noble school. He wasn't born into status. He didn't have a mentor handing him praise. He trained in forests, slept under bridges, and obsessed over the edge of his blade. Musashi didn't fight for an audience. He trained like a ghost. And when asked about his path, he said, "Step by step, walk the 1,000-mile road." That quote isn't about slow and steady progress. It's about madness. It's about the kind of obsession that keeps moving forward when no one claps, no one sees, and no one cares. Musashi understood. The path is the destination. The pain of invisible progress. Bring this to your own life. You've been writing, training, building. Whatever your craft is, you've been sharpening it. But the world is silent. No likes, no retweets, no revenue, no validation, and it's eating you alive. This, right here, is where most quit, because no one tells you that progress is invisible until it isn't. Think of bamboo. You water it for years before anything breaks the surface. Then suddenly, 90 feet of growth in weeks. Not magic, just delayed confirmation. Most people rip the seed out and say it didn't work. Musashi? He'd sit in the rain and keep watering. Detach from outcome, the samurai way you've been lied to. They told you results fuel motivation. They don't. Purpose does. Musashi didn't fight to win. He fought to become. Every duel wasn't a contest. It was a mirror. Who am I becoming? What am I sharpening? He wrote, "Do nothing that is of no use." That includes obsessing over things you can't control, like views, or likes, or validation. The moment you get addicted to progress, you get emotional, desperate, weak. Detach. Detach from outcome. Focus on becoming the kind of person who would keep going, even if the reward never came. That's power. That's the way of the samurai. Darkness is the forge. Now let's talk about that silent place. That void, where nothing seems to work. That's not failure. That's the forge. It's the cocoon. The dark room where transformation happens. Not through glory, but through erosion. Most people run from it. Distract themselves. Quit. You sit in it. Let it break you. Let it rebuild you. The Stoics called this apatheia, not indifference, but emotional sovereignty. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." So what if no one sees? So what if the numbers don't move? You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. To become the kind of person who keeps showing up with no applause. Because when you reach that level, you become dangerous. Train like a ghost. Musashi trained in silence, without fans, without fame. His principle was clear. If you're seen too soon, you become a target. Today's world is addicted to showing off, behind the scenes, day in the life, constant updates, but power grows best in silence. Real killers train in the dark. They're not training to be seen. They're training to win. Stop broadcasting every step. Let the world think you're dormant, while you're turning into something they can't comprehend. Embrace boredom like a monk. Boredom isn't a problem. It's a signal. It means the path is working. It means your ego is dying. Monks sit for hours in silence, not for excitement, but for transformation. Samurai practiced the same strike thousands of times until their bones knew it better than their minds did. You want to win? Then fall in love with the dull, with repetition, because boredom is the gatekeeper of mastery. Modern shadows, Goggins, Kobe, and the monster zoom out. David Goggins ran on broken legs, trained alone, with no applause, no camera. Why? Because he had something to prove to himself. Kobe Bryant, he practiced at 4 a.m., not for fans, but because that's when the weak were still sleeping. These men had a monster behind their eyes, not at the world, at their own wasted potential. You need that monster. You need that fire. Not to get ahead of others, but to catch up with who you could be. The void is the crucible. Every journey has a phase called the void. It's not the beginning. It's not success. It's the long silence in between. No feedback, no progress, just limbo. Most people quit here, not because they're weak, but because the void whispers. You're wasting your time. You're not special. It was just a dream. But if you stay long enough, something changes. You stop needing permission. You stop explaining. You stop waiting. You become unreasonable, unshakable, unapologetic. And that's the moment, right there, when the world starts to respond. Not because it owes you, but because you no longer need it. One strike changes everything. Let me remind you, when Musashi faced Sasaki Kojiro, he won with one strike. One. But that strike took years to earn. Years of training unseen, of waking up alone, of bleeding in silence. That's the irony. One moment can change everything, but you have to become the person who's ready when it comes. Burn the timeline. Your biggest enemy isn't failure, it's expectation. You thought it would take 6 months. You thought you'd be viral by now. You thought followers meant arrival. Reality doesn't care. Progress doesn't run on your calendar. Mastery laughs at your timeline, so burn it. Replace it with one vow. I'll keep going until it breaks, until I break, until there is nothing left but raw truth. That's the grind that outlasts hope. That's what turns effort into inevitability. The final cut, Musashi died undefeated. But more than that, he died unshaken. Not because he always won, but because he always showed up. Rain, blood, silence, rejection. He kept walking the 1,000-mile road, step by brutal step. No shortcuts, no applause, no guarantees, just discipline, sharpened by isolation, purpose, carved into his bones. That's your path too. Not a highlight reel, not aesthetics, but the dark, invisible, unsexy road to mastery, where no one claps, where the lights stay off, where your demons walk beside you. If you can survive that, you become someone the world cannot ignore. Musashi wrote, "Today is victory over yourself of yesterday. Tomorrow is your victory over lesser men." So what now? Now, you keep going, even if no one watches, even if nothing works, even if everything inside you begs to quit, because deep down, you know, you are the blade. You are the steel. You are becoming sharper, harder to break, every damn day. Thank you for watching. If this video hit you deep, do 2 things. Like it. Subscribe to Stoic in Stone, and then watch the next video, because this journey doesn't stop here. It only gets harder. And you're ready. See you in the next one.